Yeah, I suppose it's like layers upon layers of safety, and coaches coaching coaches, and mirrors reflecting in mirrors. You've got our Sanctus coaches who coach 1,000 people a month, and then you've got the head coaches who support the Sanctus coaches, and then you've got the supervisor that supervises the Sanctus coaches, then you've got the group spaces where the coaches get together. It kind of feels like Inception a little bit.
Intro was a bit dramatic, wasn't it? Welcome back to another Sanctus vlog, and this is a big one. We're talking about the wonderful Sanctus coaches. As of today, we have 31, and we put a lot of emphasis on protecting our coaches and making sure we have the best in business. It's massively important for us to make sure our coaches feel well supported and able to represent the Sanctus brand in the best way possible. And the best way to start this COACHCEPTION journey is to find out what we offer at Sanctus as support.
Hi, I'm Ben Graham. I'm the head of culture and values at Sanctus.
And I'm Sophie Miller. I'm the head of coaching.
My name is Agnieszka, and I'm one of the Sanctus coaches.
My name is Valentina, and I am a Sanctus coach, and just as last week, a head coach. It felt like I was coming into a really well-oiled machine where people knew what I was going to do. There was a lot of support given in terms of where I would be going on my first day, what kind of coaching I should be given on the day, what my day would look like. And as a coach specifically, it felt really good to receive that kind of support, knowing that there is a protocol almost for what I'm doing.
The initial stage of the onboarding, the recruitment process, was a series of 3 meetings with the Sanctus head coaches. The meetings had different shape and different purpose. So we had a group interview, we had a one-to-one conversation, we had another one-to-one meeting with one of the head coaches where we had to coach each other and receive some feedback on it. So a very fair, long process of onboarding.
So there's quite a lot of stuff actually.
We've got supervision, which is mandatory for every Sanctus coach.
Supervision is support offered to coaches as part of their ongoing personal development.
There is an offering of a supervisor that sees a group of 4 coaches every month, and it's just a nice space for coaches to kind of talk about our practice and what we can do to improve our practice.
I really truly think that getting supervision for our coaches is like single best thing we've done as a coaching team.
It's a completely safe space for coaches to come together. There are certain agreements like confidentiality, so anything that has been discussed there just stays within that group.
I guess it happened when we started to bring in the first sort of concerted wave of new coaches.
Yeah.
And everything else before that was based on people coming in just through relationships.
Yeah,
rather than like a formal assessment process. And it wasn't long after that we decided to think we need some supervision.
It was so interesting when I first started having conversations with people about supervision and talking about what we were looking for and what our needs were and what purpose supervision fills. There were this range of things that came out, and I don't know if you knew this already because as a therapist, you've been in supervision for a while, but coaches mostly aren't in supervision. They do often coach mentoring. You know, supervision is not that common for coaches. It's not never heard of, but not all coaches are in it in the same way therapists are. Just thinking through the needs of supervision, that there's such kind of clear purposes that it serves in terms of, you know, learning, kind of growth, development.
Some of the areas I might need to look into for my own development to be able to then deal with more stuff, issues, topics, questions.
Safety.
Feeling safe for me means then being able to bring my whole experience to the table so that I don't feel like I have to edit myself, but I actually feel very comfortable to just express how I'm feeling in that specific moment and what I actually need. I think there is a lot involved in asking for what I need only if I feel safe.
Ethical kind of concerns, that there's somebody there who has an ear out just in case. I remember meeting with a bunch of supervisors and really thinking that they were all good, but nobody who I kind of thought, yes, this is what we do. And as soon as I spoke to Kate, instantly I was like, yes, this is the thing. Everything about the way she approached our conversation felt like you are Sanctus, basically. But it was so enlightening for me to have a conversation with somebody who was like, yes, what do you want supervision for? And then having her go through, well, these are the reasons why people do supervision, and feeling like, yes, that's exactly what we need.
A risk assessment training, which a Sanctus coach will complete as part of that onboarding.
realizing that risk is going to come up in Sanctus sessions in a way that it might not come up in private coaching as frequently, and that we need to develop a risk assessment training for people, and then we also need a procedure for people to have support immediately after a session where they felt there was somebody who they were concerned about.
That's led by one of our head coaches at Sanctus. That helps coaches understand how to assess risk at any level of risk. So an obvious one is if someone's suicidal or is in a sort of an immediate risk to themselves or others.
And I think that we started doing the risk assessment training and kind of as head coaches being there for people to reach out to after sessions where they were concerned, right around the same time as we started doing the group supervision, maybe just before.
There are monthly reflections, which are divided between coaches' reflections and whole team reflections, where people come together and just kind of share their experience on how they are doing, not just in terms of work and what they're doing at work, but in life. So it's got a really nice human touch, and especially as a coach, the two things tend to coincide. In fact, as a human, work and life tend to coincide.
We then have head coaches who I've just mentioned. So head coaches are a part of our wider kind of structure of how we structure our coaching team. So the Sanctus coaches, we group them in what we call cohorts, and a cohort is 32 coaches. In 32 coaches, you have one supervisor that does a certain number of group supervisions throughout the month, and then we also have, in this case, 3 head coaches. Head coaches are there for kind of peer support.
I think I'm quite grateful for having experienced Sanctus going through the coaching role first, to then being able to understand what I need and to hopefully offer that as a head coach to the coaches in my cohort. And I think I'm just really looking forward to learning more from the coaches and to have that kind of back and forth relationship and understanding what is needed and just be there. Yeah, I think Sanctus is doing a pretty good job of supporting coaches and head coaches as well. We are learning quite a lot about what's needed, and we're learning quite a lot about how to offer what is needed and also what not to offer to our coaches. And the brilliant thing is that we're a group of very resourceful people, so we're also very much able to ask for what we need individually. And I think Sanctus is a very open place where people can then think how to answer that.
It's safe to say we offer a lot of support for our wonderful coaches, and despite going into a lot of detail on certain topics, we have whole areas we haven't even touched on. There's a whole branch we recently developed called Coaching Ops that's led by Christina, and we haven't even talked about that at all, so hopefully tune in to a future vlog to learn more about that. As you can tell, we take the responsibility of creating a safe space for everyone who works or uses Sanctus incredibly seriously, and we wouldn't have it any other way. We hope you enjoyed this week's vlog. It's really different to our other episodes, but it's something that's really important for us to talk about. If you did enjoy it or you want to know more about this kind of thing, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to see more content like this. Like the video to show your support, and let us know the things you're liking and you're not. I ad-libbed.
You're a star.